Hello and welcome to my Virtuosity vlog. I'm Corey, one of the co-founders of Virtuosity, and I'm going to take you with me throughout my week to show you how I use Virtuosity on a day-to-day basis. Before I get into it, I'm going to show you how I use habit stacking to help me stick with it throughout the entire week. So I typically use Virtuosity 2 times throughout my day. I start by using it in the morning to look at my daily exercise prompt because it's different every single day. And I use habit stacking by stacking it onto a habit that I'm never not going to do, which for me is having coffee in the morning. So when I have my coffee, I look into the app and see what my daily exercise challenge is. This takes me about 30 seconds, but it transforms every single other thing I do throughout my day because it's primed at the front of my head to be thinking about it. Then I use it a second time as I'm going to bed to do my daily reflection. So I stack this onto physically getting into bed. Having these two things in the morning helps me intentionally think about character throughout the day, and then the daily reflection helps me intentionally and constructively think about how I did in my character throughout the day. As always, you can see that I am sharing my phone screen, and if you look to the top of the screen, you can see that I'm on level 3, the strengthen stage. So I am coming to you at the end of the week. You can see that my whole week is filled out here. But what's important to frame here is that I am on level 3, which means that I've focused on being compassionate for, this is my 3rd week now. And so if you weren't with me for the 2 other weeks, I would have started in level 1, which is the discover stage, and then level 2, which is the activate stage. So all of these stages are making sure that we're building a really solid foundation to create a practice that will last you a lifetime. So the strengthen stage is all about focusing on exercises that are actually getting you to practice that specific behavior. So you'll see throughout the week that the strengthen stage for being compassionate is getting me to do little small acts of being compassionate. This is because the more acts we do, the stronger we become in that behavior. I hope this video provides you with some insights on how you can use Virtuosity on a day-to-day basis. Our character development journeys will all look very different, and so I hope you share in the comments how you might be using habit stacking differently or the exercises that you're cultivating from the Virtuosity app. I hope you enjoy the week. Hello and welcome to Monday. I'm going to show you what I typically do on a Monday. So if you have been following along for the previous 2 weeks, you will see here that I typically begin with a lesson on Monday to help me reframe or give more food for thought of how I'm going to approach my week. I do my daily exercises and assessments each day, but I leave the rest until Sunday. So let's begin with the lesson. So this week's lesson is focusing on supporting my exercises, which is around strengthening my compassionate behavior. It's going to show us 5 different stages to character development. It's going to focus in on how we can cultivate daily practices, and then do a deeper dive into compassion, being compassionate. So the 2 questions here, the first one is really around habit stacking that I shared in the intro. It's asking me, when am I actually going to open the Virtuosity app to do my exercises? So this is something I think about all of the time, so this is easy for me to do. I'm going to look at my exercise when I have my coffee in the morning, and I will do my daily reflection just before bed. Now the second question is addressing the deeper dive into being compassionate. We didn't really go into that, but I'll read the question. So, regardless of your relationship to the word love, how can you leverage the power behind its meaning to fuel your compassion? So the deep dive into compassion explores why we may or may not use the word love and how we can, leverage the power behind it. And so when I think about the word love instead of compassion, it seems more expansive, it seems more powerful. And sometimes when I'm thinking about compassionate behaviors or exercises, it can almost be reduced to being transactional. Whereas when you hear the word love, it really cannot be reduced to transaction. So it is a good reminder to think about how we can frame it more using the word love instead of compassion. So love makes compassion more expansive for me. All right. Oh, and we do always have these resources, additional resources for you at the end. And so this one is a great TED Talk by Drew Dudley about everyday leadership, and he talks about these lollipop moments. So always good stuff to continue to fuel your learning. Okay, and then my daily reflection. So today, my daily exercise was to identify something you appreciate about 1 to 2 people today and to tell them. And so I had a really wonderful impromptu chat with my colleague today, and I always love chatting with her. I find her to be very compassionate. I find her insights to be really full of depth but also really kind of transcendent, and it's interesting to pair those two together. And I did tell her how much I enjoyed the chat, but as I'm reflecting now, I think I could have been even more explicit about what I appreciate from her to show her the support that I feel like she provides to me. So I'm going to share that with her the next time I see her. So, colleague, support, creative insights, and love our chats. Complete. And still to do. My performance today, I feel like it was pretty good. I feel like I'm still a little burnt out from last week, but I'll give myself a 3. Interactions, I feel like they were pretty good for the most part of the day. I feel like there was some tendencies to be a little defensive, just very tiny micro moments, and I quickly rebounded from those. But I think still lots of room for improvement, so I'm going to put a 2. And then my mood, interested, alert, inspired, proud, determined, active, and I would say just a little bit nervous for some of the unknowns with a lot of the sessions I'm delivering this week. But again, sometimes it's hard to know the difference between nervous and excited, but I think I'm bordering on the nervous, so I'm going to spend some time thinking about is that something I can reframe, unpacking the nervousness, so that's something I'll pay attention to. Okay, submit. So that is Monday done. I will see you tomorrow. Surprise, it's Wednesday. I did miss my Tuesday, but I'm tuning in today. So I'm going to take you through what I missed on Tuesday and then doing what I needed to do on my Wednesday. So if you are new to this week and you missed the previous 2 weeks, what you can do when you miss a day is you go into your programs page, and here you can see all of the tasks, so to call it, that you have for your week. So today is January 24th, and you can see here that I do have my daily reflection available for yesterday. So yesterday, my exercise was to do a small act of service to support 1 to 2 people. So I did do that exercise. I was thinking about it. I just forgot to do my daily reflection at night. And what I did was, it was a really busy day for me, but I worked really hard to figure out a way to do this, and it was to make my partner's favorite dinner, which is this really yummy red sauce pasta from scratch. So red sauce pasta dish for partner, and he really enjoyed that. And my performance yesterday, I'm just thinking, it was it was pretty good, and I've been really trying to not overwork myself this week. And so I'm pretty happy with it. Let's go with a 3. Always room for improvement. Interactions. Let's see. Think about a 3. I was just thinking I didn't really interact with too many people yesterday. So I was thinking I might actually do a 2. I had some nerves with some unknowns yesterday, and I think it manifested a little bit through my interactions. And then I will do interested, alert, attentive, determined, a little distressed, and a little nervous. Again, just with some unknowns. And it did affect me a little bit. But yeah, so that is Tuesday. And then today, I was supposed to give a small gift to one or two people today to show them you care. And this one was really difficult for me. I don't typically do little gifts, and so I really struggled with this one. I actually still don't know what to do. I do have a few hours left in my day, and I'm trying to think, what could I do? And I'm not really big on, just spending money. So I'm trying to think about a caring gift, something small, something meaningful. I think cooking the dish that I did last night would have kind of counted as this small gift. I didn't get a chance to do dinner. I was away from my partner tonight. So I'm struggling with this one. I don't know what to do. So I'll do thought about it. Struggling to think of this one. And funny enough, I had a really long day today, and my partner, out of the blue, got me a little treat from the grocery store. We usually don't do little treats like that. So he had a nice gift for me today. Very cute little treat, but I'm still struggling on this one. So what I'm going to do is I'll reflect on this one and come back to it tomorrow and see if I can do it tomorrow on top of my daily exercise for tomorrow and check in on that. My performance, I had some big sessions today, and I'm really happy with them. Still going to reflect and see which areas I can improve upon, but I'm quite happy with who I was and how I was prepared for those sessions. And interactions, quite happy as well. And then mood, interested, alert, attentive, excited, inspired, proud, determined. I didn't work out today. I did walk a lot, but I'm looking forward to getting back in the gym tomorrow. A little bit nervous today for the sessions, but much smaller. I'm really trying to work on reframing excitement about a session rather than nervous, so that's a very small nervous. Quite happy with how things went today. Happy with sessions. Okay, so I'll submit that. And then you can see here on my home screen, again, if you're new and you didn't see me the last few weeks, when you miss days but you complete them afterwards, it does show up as a check mark, which is fun because you actually did it, but it does notify or show it as an orange to show that you did do it late. This little diamond means that I thought about doing the exercise, which I really did, but I'm not able to do that complete check mark because I'm struggling to think of what I should do. So I'll reflect on that. And I think another reflection to share is that I'm really feeling the benefits of focusing on compassion the last few weeks. I've been listening to music more. I feel like continuing to focus on compassion for the last few weeks is really building, and especially priming these compassionate acts. I feel like a more compassionate person. When I'm interacting with people today, I feel like it's easier for me to show my compassion, and it feels really wonderful to be connecting more meaningfully and deeper with one another. And I just kept caught myself a few times when I was on the train commuting today, just smiling a little extra more. And I really do think it's an outcome of me focusing on compassionate for the last few weeks. So I just wanted to share that, and who knows, maybe come back to it in a few days as well. So that's it for Wednesday, and I will see you tomorrow. Hello, and welcome to Thursday. To begin my reflection today, I'm actually going to go back to what I said I was going to talk about yesterday, because I was reflecting on the exercise challenge that I was really struggling with. So if I go to my programs page here and you go to your completed, you can then access prior forms that you've submitted. So I'll go back to yesterday, and the challenge that I was struggling with was to give a small gift to 1 to 2 people today to show them you care. So I thought about it, struggling to think. So what I did is I actually asked my partner this morning, what could be a small gift that I could give you? Because I just didn't know. And choosing to ask was actually really powerful, because we had a conversation about how he would like me to show him or give him small gifts. And it actually came down to doing acts of service. So we talked about how I could do little extra chores around the house. So today, even though it was his turn for laundry, I chose to do 2 loads of laundry as my small gift for him. I think the big takeaway from here is that it was really great that I actually chose to ask how I could show him compassion, because even though my daily exercise was to give a small gift, this doesn't mean that you have to actually stick to this word for word. And that as we continue to try these things and have conversations about these things, that we understand how we can show compassion to each person differently. So I'm really glad that I did stumble on this one and that I chose to ask, because now I've found out something new that I can take forward with me. So today, my exercise is to use physical touch with someone appropriate to show them that you care. So just for me, it's being cognizant. The only person I saw today was my partner. So just thinking about how I can be, more caring with, how I touch him. And so being affectionate with that. So just being more aware was really the big one. I think if I was with, other family or friends, thinking about, could I give them a hug and show more compassion instead of just waving goodbye or something like that. So those would be the things that I'd be thinking about. But this one's a really important one, again, to see, does this resonate with you? Or are there different ways that you could show compassion more effectively? So it's really just to get you thinking. My performance today had another big session. I feel like I, again, prepared quite well for it. And I got good feedback too. So it's kind of this really good result. And I actually might even put a 5 today. I'm feeling really happy about my performance. My interactions, a 4. And a lot of good moods today. Maybe all of them. Maybe active, not so much strong. I did get back into the gym today, so I feel good. I still did feel a little distressed and a little nervous preparing for the session. So again, I'm still trying to really think about how I can be reframing that to more positive, so that it doesn't take such a toll on me time and time again as I prepare for sessions that I have quite a bunch of. So still paying attention to reframing distress and nerves prior to sessions. All right, submit. So that is my Thursday done. I will see you tomorrow. Hello and welcome to Friday. My daily exercise today was to spend quality time with someone today to show them that I care. I was thinking about what I had planned today, and I'm really only supposed to see my partner, But what I chose to do instead of trying to spend a little bit of different quality time with my partner is actually reach out to some friends that I haven't spoken to in a while. I tend to be very good at kind of just getting into routine and not connecting with friends as much as I should. And so what I chose today was not necessarily spending quality time with them, but setting up a time that we could connect for a longer call and really catch up with one another. So again, you don't have to actually stick to these exercises word for word, but use them as a prompt to do something perhaps related and meaningful to you. So I did complete it. I did reach out to my friend to set up this call, and I'm really looking forward to it. I'm so glad that I did it. So my exercise was setting up a call with a close friend. All right. And then my performance today, I would say still feeling really good from yesterday. Took it a bit slower today. So I'll do a 4 because my performance really did align with my aims today. My interactions, I would say about a 4. I am really finding my interactions fueled with more compassion. I'm really feeling this building effect of focusing on compassionate for this 3rd week now. So it's really lovely. And then mood, interested, alert, attentive. I would say my excitement and enthusiasm has dwindled a little bit since yesterday, but that's okay. I'm feeling proud, determined, strong. I did some weights today. I always find my strong and my active is more so related to the exercise I'm doing. I don't know if other people do that as well, but that's how I engage with those two. And then not feeling, really any of these negative moods today, actually. It feels like kind of just taking a big breath after a few busy days. All right, so submit. Okay, that's Friday done. I'll see you tomorrow. Surprise! It's Sunday. I did miss Saturday. Another day missed, but that's okay. I'm going to go back and do that now so I can go through my programs page. And I was actually thinking about this yesterday. So again, it was just me not logging it. My exercise was to ask 1 to 2 people what you can do to better support their well-being. I did this. And this was really anchored in creating more time for me to be compassionate. A lot of times I can be very results oriented, quite go, go, go. And so this is actually a really good realization as we're launching into level 4 next week that has me still doing these exercises, but paying attention to character behaviors that are needed to support my compassion. And so in this instance, it really is having a bit more temperance and patience when I'm trying to be compassionate and when I'm trying to support other people's well-being. So having more patience and creating more time when I am trying to support others. And then my performance yesterday, a 3, and then my moods. All right. And then today, do one thing today to actively promote someone else's well-being. So I did share that I've been having these conversations with my partner about how I can explicitly support their well-being, and it's around doing stuff around the house. Today, I chose to make a really nice lunch for us. So it's, doing stuff around the house and making the meal healthy. So it really was supporting well-being as well. Okay. And then I had a session today that went really well, prepared quite well for it. My interactions were quite good today. I felt interested, alert, attentive, excited, inspired, proud, determined, active. And I was a little nervous today. Again, this is a continued theme if you've been around for the last few weeks, where I'm really trying to notice how I can kind of shift some of those nerves feelings towards really being anchored in excitement. They're a little bit of both, but sometimes I do feel like the nerves are just getting, affecting me a little too much. So I don't necessarily need that. And so thinking about how can I continue reframing nerves to be more about excitement. And I think the nerves come from the unknowing, not knowing what might happen. And with all of the experiences I'm having, I feel like I do have a good sense of what may happen. And so it's not fearing the unknown as much and having a little bit more comfort in the process. One overall, as I'm coming to the end of my week, I'm going to do my weekly assessment. And I was thinking about this question today: how likely were you to exhibit being compassionate this week? And a lot of my exercises were prompting me to do them with 1 to 2 people, but I often was doing them with my partner who I live with. And I was thinking about how I could try to extend the reach of my compassion beyond just my partner. And so next week, I'll continue focusing on being compassionate. I'm going to have the same exercises. And so I'm going to try and extend my reach next week beyond the context of my home. So how likely were you to exhibit being compassionate this week? Again, your character is strongest across different contexts, not just in one. And beyond my home, my compassion can be quite internalized. And so again, it's thinking about how can I externalize this more? How can I extend my reach? But I will give myself maybe a 7. So now it's like, I've been focusing on this for a few weeks now. I felt like I was making a lot of progress. I shared that in my updates this week. So I felt like putting an 8, but I just put a 7 because now I'm noticing with these insights how much room I do have to grow to really extend my reach. So that's why I chose to put a 7 there. And I'd say when I don't exhibit compassion, which vice am I likely to exhibit? And I think it would be overly concerned. So my attitude towards being compassionate, I really am seeing the 5. Like focusing on it all this week, really feeling the power of it. There's nothing left unconvinced about how powerful it really can be. Peer influence. Again, my peer influence and cultural influence. I'm in a really lucky context where I work in character, so a lot of people around me prioritize being compassionate, so I'm very lucky. My lifestyle, again, sharing my reflections from my daily assessment today, where my compassion is often compromised when my schedule is too busy, and I feel like I do pack a lot into my schedule. So I would say it's definitely a barrier. My lifestyle is a barrier to my compassion, so I'd put it in the negative somewhere. Maybe a 2. So I do really need to think intentionally about the schedule I'm setting up for myself to allow myself to actually prioritize my character. And time is a big stressor for my compassion. And then ability, I would say a 4. Really having the belief that I can change and feeling like I am changing, so it's pretty strong. So dimensions that I really need to support my compassion would be temperance. That's the one that I was just talking about. And then sometimes I would say my humility and my collaboration and accountability. My core beliefs, so self-worth, some really good things going on this week. So a 4 out of 5, relationship with others. I think, again, launching some sessions this week, feeling really interconnected with others. And so I'm going to put a 4 and a view of the world. Lots of opportunities, so a 4. And then PABCs, my physiology. I was really getting back into a good exercise routine. Put a 3, eating well, sleeping well, always room for improvement. My affect, I would say, I'm still letting my nerves influence me more than I would like to. And I'm really keying in on that more. So I think I might actually put myself down to a 1 here so that I can really engage meaningfully with that moving forward. My behavior, I would say, is about a 2, I think, kind of influenced by my affect. And then my cognition would be a 4. So submit that. And then again, so the only thing left for my week are my partner assessments, which I won't do now for their privacy, but I will open it up in case you haven't been following along to see what that looks like. So you can see the focus behavior that your partner is focusing on, and then you're essentially just answering all of the questions that you were personally asked to reflect upon, so that when tomorrow in your Insights tab, you'll get this weekly Insights report, and you'll be able to see how your partner assesses you, and then you can use that as a starting point for conversation to really unpack those insights. So that wraps us up for Sunday. I've completed my whole week, and what I'll do is I will tune in one more time tomorrow morning when I have time to look over my weekly insights. So I will see you tomorrow. Hello and welcome to Monday. I'm going to take you through my weekly insights report. So to get there, I'm going to press on the Insights, click on Insights Report in the top right. And here I have my weekly insights looking at my previous week, collecting all my data, and then even having my week before that. So the first thing I do when I look at this weekly insights report is I compare my previous week to the last week. You can see that my engagement is pretty close. I have 95% last week because if you scroll down, if you recall on Wednesday, I was really struggling to think about what I could actually do for that exercise. I did end up doing it the next day, but nonetheless, it still marked me down as a 95% engagement. Then what I do is I look at improvements or regressions. And so you can see that I have a mix of green showing improvements, red regression, and nothing is incredibly different or alarming. I think the one piece here is my affect. So going from a 3 to a 1 is pretty significant. And I think that that's because I started really paying attention, if you recall, to looking at how my nerves could be reframed as excitement. And so I think continuing to focus in on that has made me quite critical of my affect. And if you look at my partner's scoring to the right of that, they've actually marked me a 4 for affect. And it's also indicated by a gray box showing that there's a big difference between how I've assessed myself and how my partner sees me. And so this would be a good indication that my reflection in terms of that I'm becoming more critical of my affect is probably correct, seeing that my partner didn't mark me as critical. So that's a key observation for me to focus on. As I'm moving now from focusing on myself and how my partner assessed me, the 7 to 9 in the compassionate row isn't a big or an alarming difference, but I think it's also good because I did, if you recall, mark myself a 7 instead of an 8 on compassion, because I did remember that I marked myself a 7 the prior week and I felt like I was improving this week. But then as I get closer to 10, as I'm improving, I see more room for growth. So I decided to keep myself at the 7. But my partner sees me at a 9. So it shows that I'm still quite strong in their eyes. And it's important for me to remember that perhaps I'm getting more critical, that it's not that I'm not improving. Again, if you're new to this week, typically what I do when I compare myself to my partner is key in on the gray boxes, which indicate a big difference between how I see myself and how my partner sees me. And so we've already looked at the affect. The other one would be the mood. So I marked myself as a 6, and my partner marked me very high on a 10. And so your mood can swing, can score all the way from a -10 to a +10. This means that my partner marked me for all positive moods and no negative moods. And if you're curious what that looks like, you can always go and look at the exact report by clicking on your partners, clicking on the latest report. So you can see here that they listed me for being interested, alert, attentive, excited, enthusiastic, inspired, proud, determined, strong, and active, and none of the negative moods. So that's pretty interesting. For me, what I would want to take away from this is that being along for the week with me, you did see that I was listing nervous. And so for me to think about how could I be more transparent and convey those emotions to other people instead of just conveying the positive, I think that would be really important for me to share moving forward. And then it's always just nice to check in on the group column to see if there's anything really alarming or out of the ordinary. And they're all pretty high scores, so nothing comes to mind in particular when I look at the group average. So that's my weekly insights report. That wraps us up for the entire week. I am moving on to level 4, so you can look out for that video next week. But it's been so fun having you along for another week on my level 3 focusing on compassionate. I hope you did take something away from this and see how you can use Virtuosity on a day-to-day basis that best suits you. Thanks for joining my Virtuosity vlog. Bye for now.